Today on Public Eye News, the Michigan Legislature Energy Committee is set to vote on a UP-sponsored energy bill tomorrow. But first, we'll have everything you need to know about the Northern Michigan University Spring Forum.
Coming up, Beck Beerley will have your weather forecast, where we'll take a look at an anticipated winter weather storm. Later, Emma Ross will also bring you today's sports breakdown. I'm Bianca Cole.
And I'm Luke Middle, and this is Public Eye News. Here in Northern Michigan University's campus, President Brock Tessman led the Spring University Forum today. The topics included emissions and housing, student recruitment, campus construction, and federal DEI policies. President Tessman talked about compliance with executive orders, changes that the community can expect, and the university's next steps. Now, over to reporter Kieran Healy with the details on today's forum.
Thanks, Luke. President Brock Tessman covered a lot of ground in this semester's forum. The headline topic was the federal regulations and executive orders on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in public schools and universities. One of the proposed changes in NMU's future? Renaming the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion to the Office of Opportunity, Empowerment, and People. The Student Equity and Engagement Center can be expected to undergo a name change as well. President Tessman told the community that despite the title changes of certain programs, NMU's academic programs will not be affected, and the university's mission has not changed either. He also acknowledged that these changes will largely be after his departure from the university, as he begins his term as Montana State University's president on July 1st. Looking ahead for NMU, President Tessman also gave updates on construction progress and enrollment figures. The number of freshman students enrolled for this fall semester is the highest in 5 years. And with this, he acknowledged that on-campus housing will be over capacity for another year. A project is in the works to remedy this, a new student apartment building at the corner of Presque Isle and Fair, next to the athletic complex in Superior Dome. This is expected to be completed in fall 2027. President Tessman also said progress is moving forward as intended for the school's new library and the design process of the College of Business's new building. The recording from today's University Forum will be available on the NMU website tomorrow. Now, back to Luke at the desk.
Thanks, Kieran. The Houghton County Board of Commissioners and Administration will be holding a special meeting at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning to propose a new county jail. The current Houghton County Jail, originally built in 1962, is argued to be outdated, overcrowded, and does not meet the current Michigan state compliance regulations and requirements. At tomorrow's meeting, the event will be open to the public, and county officials, along with law enforcement and jail designers, will present the current proposal and plan, including cost estimations and public impact. A proposal is expected to be coming to an August ballot.
Third-year graduate student of NMU, Ari Coots, has been finalizing a book deal with Macmillan Publishing. The book is called Just Ask Annalise, a young adult novel. The story follows 11-year-old Annalise Parker, who is frustrated with the lack of inclusive and accessible puberty education in her school. Annalise is then determined to make a change and make better programs for the school. Coots hopes the book will contribute to these critical conversations for young readers. The adult novel Just Ask Annalise is set for publication in 2026 by Fenwell and Friends. And the Finlandia Art Gallery is hosting the exhibit Humus Taking Over. This drawing exhibit was made by Finnish artist Eva Haken. The drawing is dark, organic material that is formed in soil when planted and animal matter decays. It also shows how the viewing of the world is complex and always changing. Haken notes that the complex life is started with humus from beginning to end, and that we will all become humus. A reception will take place at the gallery Thursday, April 24th from 7 to 8:30 p.m., and the exhibit will be up from then till June 4th. The reception is free and is open to everyone. And this past weekend, NMU hosted its annual coffee crawl. This event takes participants to different coffee shops in the Marquette area and taste test the top brews. Participants get to try samples, meet new people, and venture around the city of Marquette. 12 different coffee shops participated in this year's events to give hundreds of participants a taste of their brews. Some of those shops were Dead River Coffee, Provisions, Contrast Coffee Co., 231 West, Cruisin' Coffee, and many more. All proceeds from the event went to the Marquette Women's Center.
Now don't touch that dial. After this short break, Beck will be back with a weather report you won't want to miss.
Tune in to the heartbeat of the Upper Peninsula. At Public Radio 90, we're more than just a frequency on your dial. We're your trusted home for national public radio. Let our diverse blend of music be the soundtrack to your day. Public Radio 90, where community comes alive. Tune in to Sunday Nights with Dan Truckee, In the Pines from 9 to 9:30, followed by Just Folks from 9:30 to 11.
1, 2, 3.
A change is happening.
Let the groove take over.
Which is perfect.
The age of discovery is now.
When you hear it, you know what it is.
I am quite overwhelmed.
It's a joy to be in this world.
Hello and welcome back. My name is Beck Burley and this is your Public Eye weather segment. Taking a look behind me at the Academic Mall, it's looking pretty desolate and the clouds are overcast, but let's jump right into conditions across the UP. Starting off in Houghton, I should mention that there is a weather advisory in effect from 8 p.m. tonight until 2 p.m. tomorrow. It is currently 38 and cloudy in Houghton. In Ironwood, it is 41. Seeing those clouds all across our board. With the current temp of 41 in Ironwood, down in Iron Mountain, it is 47, and in Menominee, it is 56. Taking a look at the eastern side of our board in Escanaba, we're looking at a current temp of 52. In Manistee, it is 54, and in Sault Ste. Marie, it is 49 with some rain. And back in our lovely Marquette, it is 47. Taking a close look at our conditions, we're looking at winds out of the west at 19 miles per hour with a barometric pressure of 29.46 inches and rising. And tonight, we're looking at a rain-snow mix with a low of 31 and winds out of the northwest at 30 miles per hour, and our moon phase is a waning gibbous. And tomorrow, we can see some snow in our forecast with a high of 55, a low of 40, and winds out of the south-southwest at 15 miles per hour. Well, looking ahead, you can see this Wednesday we have a high of 39 with some partly sunny skies and a low of 31. This Thursday, things starting to heat up a bit with a high of 54, partly sunny skies, and a low of 43. And this Friday, a high of 46 with some cloudy conditions and a low of 34. That's all I have for weather. Back to the desk.
Thank you for that weather update, Beck. Certainly looking a little melancholic with all those gray skies out there. Going now to some statewide news. Michigan State Representatives Dave Preston and Carl Bonack testified before the House Energy Committee proposing an exemption on Upper Peninsula generators. Preston's proposal in House Bill 4283 would reclassify reciprocating internal combustion engine, also known as RICE generators, as renewable energy until their life cycle comes to a close in 2049. Bonack's legislation, House Bill 4007, would exclude 13 RICE generators from green energy legislation that passed in 2023. House Bill 4007 was passed unanimously by the Marquette City Commission in support of the plan. Both plans to save the RICE generators remain to be voted on by the Energy Committee, which will happen tomorrow morning. And the state of Michigan has obtained out-of-state support via the Emergency Management Assistance Compact, also known as the EMAC, for the historic ice storm that occurred 2 weeks ago. The state saw nearly 125,000 residents without power during the first wave of the storm. This is the first time Michigan has requested support of this type and will include 4 teams of debris removal teams from the Indiana Department of Transportation, primarily focused on clearing trees and any other critical rubble from key roadways. The Michigan Department of Transportation Incident Management Team will send crews of their own to clean up alongside the INDOT teams. The INDOT made their way into Michigan last Saturday and will remain until April 19th. And President Trump is welcoming El Salvador's president to the White House as the administration continues to send migrants to a notorious prison in the country. Natalie Brand of CBS News has more straight from the White House. Take a look.
President Trump is meeting with El Salvador's president at the White House to discuss immigration.
We appreciate working with you because you want to stop crime, and so do we.
It comes as the president's trade policy continues to unfold, with new questions about the tariff on some popular electronics from China, like iPhones. Administration officials say those goods are excluded from the 125% import tariff, but still subject to an earlier 20% tariff related to fentanyl. U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer says those tech items will also be considered for separate national security-related tariffs with the goal of boosting manufacturing of semiconductors in the U.S.
It's shifting from one bucket of tariffs to a different bucket of potential tariffs.
You know, you have to show a little flexibility. We go back to what we have to do. The markets have been very strong once they got used to it.
Small businesses in the U.S. are pleading for flexibility as they face the full 145% tariff on imports from China.
Small businesses like mine are marginalized and left to bear the burden of this and to see our families suffer.
Ralph Bradley is the owner of a Texas-based company that imports lighting equipment for items including trailers, RVs, and farm equipment. His father started a joint venture in the early 90s with a family-owned company in China that makes the products.
We have a great relationship with them and are scared about not just our business being in detriment, but what happens to their business and their families.
Trump administration officials say negotiations with China will happen between Presidents Trump and Xi, but so far talks have not been scheduled. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Now, after this short break, Emma will be back with a sports report you won't want to miss. Stay tuned.
On the Age of Nature, Awakening. Discover our changing relationship with nature. How the lessons of the past and nature's amazing ability to recover are unlocking a bright new future.
When given time, nature can come back.
Monday night at 9 on WNMU TV.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I am Emma Maratz, here to deliver your sports report. Jumping right into the gridiron, the Northern football team played in their spring football game over the weekend. The Wildcats were able to outscore the Bulldogs 20-9 in the game against Minnesota Duluth. In this modified game, Noah Dobert totaled 153 yards and went for 3 touchdowns. The defensive line held strong, only letting 3 field goals get past them. Both teams were able to practice plays and run drills. This game brings hope to the Wildcats after a rough past 2 seasons. The regular season will start in the Superior Dome on August 28th against Minnesota State Moorhead. Sprinting over from football to track and field, the Lady Enemy Wildcat track and field team traveled to Oshkosh to compete in the Titan Invitational, where they took home gold in 8 events. The Wildcats were able to grab all top 5 spots in the 1500 meter. Skylar Grubb took home first place with a time of 4:55.25. The 4x100 team also took home first place. On the field, Wilma Els took home another win in the javelin, and Sophie Diop won first in the triple jump. The team will travel to the West Coast to compete in 3 meets in Los Angeles from April 17th to April 19th. Finishing off on the soccer field, the men's soccer team's schedule was announced for the fall season. The team plays 18 matches, including 2 exhibition matches. There are 16 regular season matches, 12 conference games, and 4 non-conference games. The schedule is split evenly with 9 home matches and 9 away games. A few newcomers are added to the schedule, with the team facing off against Lawrence Tech at the beginning of the season. The Wildcats are also set off to face against Lake Erie, who have made the NCAA tournament twice within 3 years. The regular season starts at home on September 4th against Northwood. That's all I have for sports. Now back to the news desk.
Well, thank you, Emma, for that sports update. Luke, you happen to see that game from the football team?
You know, I actually did. I was doing play-by-play for Radio X at that game. It was very cool. I was very impressed by the Wildcats. Did you happen to catch that game?
I missed out on it, but you know, it looked really good, and I'm really happy we are putting our foot out there now for this upcoming season.
I have to say I was very impressed. I was blown away by the running game, really the 153 yards by Daubert. But with that, we're out of time here in Public Eye News Today. I'm Luke Niddle.
And I'm Bianca Kroll.
We'll see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.